You're welcome. Thank you.
Someone who's joining us now who knew Pope Francis. In fact, she joined us some time ago to talk about Pope Francis. Back with us now to talk about the new Pope, Sister Norma. Sister Norma Pimentel is Executive Director of Catholic Charities in the Rio Grande Valley. So I remember we were talking about immigration and migrants and all the dedication and Pope Francis had to the people that you've done so much work with over the years. And now you have a new Pope coming in. And I wonder if you're seeing someone with similar experience from his work in Peru or something different. I mean, what is your impression early on here of Pope Leo?
I think he is an excellent choice, definitely selected by the Holy Spirit. I think he follows and moves forward with a lot of what Pope Francis presented to us and what was important for us as people of faith. And he's going to take it to a next level, I think. I think there's great hope that he can bring us together, that he unite and bring a sense of coming together to find solutions for everybody to address the needs of our church, the needs of our world today. And I think he's key in making that happen. I'm very hopeful for this. You know, I think that that continuing a lot of what Pope Francis initiated about the importance of the human person and making sure that we respect the dignity of everybody. But as well, I think he brings another thing that's critically important in our times today. It is how can we work together to accomplish the good for everybody and for that everybody can be in dialogue to accomplish that without losing sight of the importance of how to respect and how to have that compassion and care for others as well.
Yeah, I know that he spoke a lot about unity in his remarks from St. Peter's today, right? That was a word that he used a lot, unity. And I also know, and we were just having a conversation about politics and whether or not it's involved in all of this. And the particular issue that you're involved with your work, your life's work, immigration and migrants, like we mentioned a moment ago, I know he cares about that too. Even when he was a cardinal, had a social media account that's getting a lot of attention today, where he was reposting articles that were critical of the current U.S. administration. It seemed on the case of the man who had been deported to El Salvador, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and he had spoken. Put an article out that was critical of the vice president. So it seems, to me at least, from reading that. But again, it's hard to read into someone's postings when they're posting articles and the things. But it seems like that would be similar to Pope Francis in the way he saw those issues that you care so much about. Do you agree?
I totally agree that he has a sensitivity to the human aspect of who we are and how we must respect and care for humanity. You know, not lose sight of that in the process of trying to accomplish decisions to address the needs of our country, the needs of our world. You know, we must do it without losing sight of that. The human person is of high importance and must be respected, and we must find solutions that work for everybody, but that definitely respect life and protect the human person as a person like the immigrant who is searching for protection and safety. We must not just completely discard them but rather respond in a caring, compassionate way as well.
Sister Norma, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.